Fashion Dolls. It is Transformation Tuesday, November 28th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is a former five-time world champion kickboxing champ. And he's a former four-time sport karate champion. I'm super excited to welcome him in the dollhouse, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let's welcome our very special guest, the handsome, the incredibly talented Robert Parham. Hello,
Hey,
hello.
how you doing?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm very well today.
It is such a pleasure to have you here. So before we kick off this interview, how was your holidays?
It was not long enough. Let's put it like that. But it was great. It was great.
All right, let's get into it. Fashion Dolls with our very special guest. Now, you were born, your hometown is, I did a little research on you, and your hometown is Hillside, New Jersey, right?
Yes, that's where I grew up, Hillside, New Jersey. Love that place.
Let's start all the way from the beginning to the journey to get to know where you're at now, because you are a former five-time world championship kickboxing champ and a former four-time sport karate champion. With all of these titles under your belt, before you got to that point in your life, did you always know that kickboxing and martial arts was something that you wanted to do at a very young age, growing up in New Jersey?
Um, Growing up, I my idols, I guess you can say my idols were guys like Ron Van Cleef, Jim Kelly, Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali. So I always knew I had the capacity to be in a competitive environment. I didn't know it would
Yes.
be, you know, I didn't know it would be fighting. I really didn't. So it just evolved into that. And, you know, I give praise to the people that drove me to that point, got me to that point.
Yes. And another thing people don't know about you, again, I did my research. Um, your kickboxing record was 17-1 with 9 knockouts. And your last match was stopped by Patrick Barry. What was that moment like for you in your life?
Um, I fought Pat Barry. Pat went on to become a UFC fighter. So he's a really great fighter, and he was actually the young kid coming up. In fighting, there's always the old man hands the torch to the young kid. So that was my handing the torch to the young kid, and he did great while he was active. I don't think he's fighting anymore, but he trains. Oh, I can't remember her name. She fights for the UFC. She's a UFC fighter, and she was a champion. But he trains her. And so passing the torch on, just like the past was torched on to me, it's the cycle of life. You accept it and we move on. It's part of life.
Now, you also enlisted in the Air Force. My father served in the military. My brother served in the military. My uncle did. What was it like for you at that point in your life?
I did 20 years in the military, in the Air Force. It was great. I met some really great people. I met my martial arts instructor there. Was able to develop my base for martial arts, open schools, gave me an opportunity to travel all around the world, meet plenty of people, connected with some people that I still keep in touch with today. It was just a great time. It was a really great time. It was a trying time sometimes, because when you're in the military, there's a lot that you have to sacrifice.
Yes.
And yeah, so, but all in all, if I had to do it over, I'd do it again, you know.
And, and you've earned some titles there as well too. I mean, you've got a list of accolades from Armed Forces champion, Mississippi State champion, and pre-Olympic Taekwondo champion. So at this point in your life, what's running through your mind? That you're all grown up, you're on your own, going into the military, and you're away from family. What's it like? And did you ever have consider thinking about, okay, what's going to be the next plan for?
No, at the time when I was in the Air Force, when I really got into the martial arts, I became business minded. So I opened a few schools down in Biloxi and Gulfport, and had my students open schools. So that was my goal, I think, at the time, was to be the best competitor I could be, and to open schools. Um, and that was before I caught the show business bug. So actually, one of the schools is still open, run by my student, Grandmaster Rick Barber, in Gulfport, Mississippi. So big shout out to the Combat Academy in Gulfport, Mississippi. Um, I just wanted to be business minded. I've seen a lot of martial artists in particular who weren't good business people or savvy business people. They would open a school and a year later it'd be closed. You know, I was looking at things more in that angle in that fashion at the time. Well, but we evolve. We evolve. If I'm the same person I was 5 years ago, then that's 5 years wasted. So just moving on.
Another incredible thing happened throughout your career. You've been inducted into the Universal Martial Arts Hall of Fame and the Masters Hall of Fame, and several other Hall of Fames for your martial arts accolades throughout your career. What was that experience like?
Well, you really did your homework, didn't you?
I, baby, I come with the facts.
There you go. I love it. Um, well, at the time I was inducted, I just came back from overseas, I think from the first Gulf War, second Gulf War, actually. And I received an induction, a nomination to be inducted to the Universal Martial Arts Hall of Fame. Now, there's prominent martial artists, if you're in the martial arts and you're in the competing, et cetera, and so forth, that are inducted in these halls of fames. So, it's just an honor to be named in the same breath, to be held in the same esteem as guys that I grew up watching, guys I idolize, men and women alike. Don Wilson, Ron Van Cleef, Jim Kelly. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I'm like, wow, my name sits there with them. So I'm very deeply humbled, and just fascinated. I still sit here and think about it, and my jaw hits the floor. It's like I'm just a kid from Hillside, New Jersey. I'm just trying to keep gas in my car, all four of them. But you know,
Now, you retired from martial arts competitions
mm-hmm,
and got into
mm-hmm.
acting. What do you enjoy most about acting?
I enjoy the fact that being that I don't compete anymore, it gives me a creative outlet. So I have, as some people I know say, I have things in my basement that I have to get out. So um, it's not. I wouldn't call it emotional baggage, but it's emotional creativity that's all
Yeah.
locked and bottled up in me, and it's just got to come out. It's got to come out, whether I act or direct or produce. It's just got to come out. I can't sit still and not do anything creatively. It's real important. A big part of my life. I think if I didn't do that, I would just roll over and crawl in the corner and suck my thumb, and it's just be over for me.
So, for you as an actor, what do you think can make a role challenging?
To make a role challenging is to dig deep into an experience that you have had in your life and bring it to the character that you're portraying.
Yes.
I had the opportunity to, in my first major role, play this character named Jackson Bolt. So I was opposite one of my idols, Fred Williamson. And I was able to, I had just went through some personal discourse, let's say, in a relationship, and I was able to bring that to that character. Um, so it was trying to make the character authentic, and it was therapeutic for me, as a person. So you just gotta find. They say that all great actors have had some kind of trauma and turmoil in their life, whether it's with drugs or alcohol or relationships or whatever it may be. And so I think to be authentic cinematic truth, you have to tap into that and bring that to your character.
What do you think makes a performance more believable as an actor?
That's a great question. And once again, it's the authenticity of what you bring to the character. Now, I've seen some films. Let's take let's take for example Training Day. Let's take,
Oh yeah.
let's take Training Day because I just watched it long ago. Denzel brings an authenticity to that character that if you had replaced that character with another actor, I don't think it would have came off as
Yeah.
authentic. You know, if and there's some great actors, but he just brought something to that character, and you don't see Denzel in that light, so you don't know where he tapped into that from. So he brought some authenticity to that character, and my latest film that I did alongside the original G-Man of hip hop and Cinda Williams called Mad as Hell. Um, Now I have to tell you, uh, the original G-Man of hip hop brought some serious authenticity to his character. He was and it was his first role, and he portrayed a not a drug lord, but an underground boss. And he was just authentic. You know, you really believed that he was that guy. You really believed it. Cinda is going on to Cinda Williams. She's a great actress, and she brought some serious authenticity with the trauma in her, the discourse in her relationship from her
Yeah.
character. And yeah, so you just got to bring it. You got to once again assimilate or bring what you've done in your life or experiences and bring it to that character. That's it. Otherwise, you're just saying words. You know, going.
Absolutely. And it's so crazy you mentioned her because I interviewed her, I want to say season 16, and she also did introducing Dorothy Dandridge
Yeah.
with Holly Berry.
Yes.
So definitely go and check that out. Very pivotal movie.
Yes.
And she talked about having range as well too, as well as my guest that I had on yesterday, Bernard Q. Sellers. We
So.
talked about actors getting into character
Mm-hmm.
and having to go from places they haven't even really experienced
Mm-hmm.
or having to think about things while they're on set in production to get them into that mode of character. Has that ever happened to you?
Um, I have lately taken the role of a director, so I see it happen to some actors that I direct, and once again we try to assimilate something that they did in their life, some kind of trauma or happy experience, or just an experience that they maybe don't even realize that they've had, and bring it to a character. Um, we worked with uh, we worked in this movie called Soul Cage that was just released. It stars Kirby Delani, Eric Roberts, James Meyer, and gee, I keep forgetting his name. Oh my man, he's played opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando. I keep forgetting his name. He's gonna kick my ass if it. But we had some challenges with some of the actors getting into their character, getting into their space. Um, I can recall working with Kirby. There's a scene where she hits the bag and she's reminiscing about her mom. So I had to bring her there because her mom did George Wells. That's the Kirby's
So
on.
cool.
Thank you, Kirby. George Vernon Wells. Thank you, Kirby. Where she had to pull from her mom did pass away, and her and her mom were very close. So she had to pull from that experience of losing her mom for real as she was losing her mom in the movie. You know, and it came off very authentic, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. As a matter of fact, I think behind the scenes, as I was directing it, I think I cried a little bit watching it.
And that's deep. That's the worst kind of pain of having to think about losing a family member. And who was it? It was Kiki Palmer when she was on and she was working with Angela Bassett. She said, "What would you do if your mom said that she couldn't do this with you anymore?" And she got right into character. She broke down crying because she went to a place of what could happen if I lost a family member. And that has happened to a lot of actors. You know, you don't ever want to think about losing a parent. That's a hard thing to do, but you have to pull from that place in order to get into character.
You
So
do.
that's totally.
And the thing about that, when you go that deep into that character, sometimes it's hard for actors to come out of that. They get stuck there, so that
Yeah.
affects personal life. So as a director and as an actor, you have to learn how to temper that. You can go deep, but you can't stay there. You got to come back. That's the challenge I think the actors face, directors face. Is when you get that deep, when you're a really great actor and you get that deep, and you have to have that emotional moment, and you got to come back out of that. You know, that's hard.
Yes. Now, my next question for you is what would you regret not fully doing in your life or your career, being or having in your life?
What I regret not fully doing, I would regret not. Hmm, I don't have a lot of regrets in my life. So let's say I would regret. Let's put it like this: the most important thing in my life right now are my children. I've got 4 children, and they're all adults. You know, so not having a relationship with them on any kind of level would be very regretful for me. Outside of that, I think not being able to create, not being able to sit down and write a script, not being able to see that script come to fruition would be regretful for me, because I don't want to be that guy that's 70, 80 years old saying I would have, could have, should have. I had the opportunity, but I didn't. I've had some really, really great mentors in this business. I've got, now I'm going to drop here, guys like Art Camacho, guys like Fred Williamson, Ron Van Cleef, um, the late Jim Kelly, the great Marshall and Lee, Don Wilson. I mean, all these guys, they talk to me on a regular basis and mentor me. And it, I'm just flabbergasted. It's powerful. It's very powerful. And I ride on the shoulders of their success.
Yeah.
So it's very important for me that I do things in a proper fashion, and I give them honor. I got to throw in Gloria Hendry's name. Gloria Hendry is my second cousin. So we talk about once a week, just over various subjects. So yeah, I've got that in my back. Oh, Pee Wee Blanco is on. My guy Pee Wee. Hey Pee Wee, how you doing, brother?
Now, on a lighter note here, let's go here because another accolade. You just recently had a week designated in your honor in your hometown of Hillside, New Jersey, and a day in your honor. So, how does it feel to have a day and a week in your honor?
That's that is fascinating to me. That's absolutely fascinating, because once again, if you know me well, I'm just a guy that's trying to keep gas in my car. That's it. I'm the toughest man in this whole 1 foot square area that I stand. Outside of that, I'm just a normal guy trying to get through life with life's challenges just like anybody else. So I feel honored. I felt very special that the then mayor of Hillside gave me that honor for a week, and that was great. My parents got to see me. Some of my high school friends got to see me. It was just, I was speechless, just speechless. And then they did it here in Fairfield. They gave me a day out here in Fairfield, California. So East Coast, West Coast, to have an impact on people, and the um, things that I do from East to West Coast, I'm just like, wow, just me, little old me, wow.
And Quickfire says you are just amazing at it.
I try my best, I just do what I do. I have fun doing it. The 4 L's that I go by is love, laugh, learn, and live. You
Yeah.
know, so If I can't do that, then I don't need to be here at the end of the day.
Now, my next question for you is, what can you do today that you were not capable of doing a year ago?
A year ago, I think that I'm a very patient person.
Damien.
I'm very, very patient. My has grown to a point where I am able to discern what has gravity, what has more gravity in my life, and what doesn't have gravity in my life. So, saying that if I do something that affects me or my associates or my children 5
No,
years,
it's off.
okay, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or 7 generations from now, it really doesn't matter, So I've been able to discern that. It's important, yeah.
You have at least 5 upcoming projects that will be coming out sometime, I'm assuming, in the new year. The year went by so fast. Like 2023 has been a wild ride. What are you looking forward to and manifesting for the new year of 2024?
Well, I've got these projects on tap. We have a vampire movie called The Thirst. Yes, with Hawthorne James. We have a sequel to Mad as Hell called Mad as Hell 2, TOO. And that's going to center on the character Matt Goldie, played by the original G-Man of hip hop. We're in production right now of Cocaine Roach with Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. We have
Joe Jackson, yes.
we have a script that we're working to put together called Mama Don't Take No Mess, which is going to be a kind of a throwback to Coffee and Foxy Brown.
Our hand premiere, yes.
And we also have we got 2 more. We've got 1 out of 100 and 1 out of 100 Part 2 Heroes, and lots of stuff. And we have Trophy Boy, and we have Skilled at Violence that we're in talk with Don the Dragon Wilson. So lots of stuff to do next year. Lots of stuff.
Where quick fire? I'm sorry.
Oh God, there was a person who could be pervert. OG, there was a. I don't understand that.
I'm trying to figure out what she's saying in the comments because I missed
Yeah,
it. It came by so fast.
yeah. Kirby, that's Kirby. Quickfire 04 from Soul Cage. Kirby, what does that mean? I don't get it. OG, there was a person who could be pervert. I don't know.
Well, we're going to keep it going. If they're in here, I'll block it. If I see it, I'll block it. My moderator typically handles it. I don't
Uh,
know where he is, but if I see it, I'll block it.
I
So
think
thank you for
she,
the heads up.
yeah, she probably meant something else because Kirby's an honorable person. I know her very well.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right, Fashion Dolls, we're going to have some fun with Robert today. And I know you guys were curious to know what is in my beauty bag. We're going to get into that third, but we're going to do 2 games with Robert, okay? And the first one is called the Rapid Five. And Rapid Five is where my guests have to tell me 5 things they can't live without. And it can be their favorite football team, their favorite drink, whatever they're looking forward to. And their 5 things they can't live without. And then the next one we're going to do is called Turn the Tables. And this is where my guests get to ask me questions. Whatever they want to know, whether it's fashion, beauty, life, family, whatever they're curious to know about me, I have to answer. And they can ask as many questions as they want to. And then we're going to go inside this beauty bag over here, third, so we can see what's in here. All right? So let's start off with the rapid five. Robert, what are 5? things that you can't live without. Yes.
I can't live without macaroni and cheese. I can't live without my computer.
Mm.
I can't live without Porsche. I can't live without my kids, and I can't live without martial arts. All not necessarily in that order. Mac and cheese is first, definitely. But everything else is subsequent.
All right. There you go. Um, G Man says my kitchen, my family, my mic, my smile, and my fans. Yes. All right, dancing dolls. There you have it. Those are 5 things that Robert can't live without. My heart is beating very fast for this next segment because I have no clue what he is going to ask me. It is time to turn those tables. All right. So Robert's
Here we
going to
go.
ask me some questions, and whatever the viewers, for my new viewers, because he's a lot of new viewers in here, you guys can get to know me through his question. All right. So I'm going to pass it on down to Robert here, and he's going to ask me some questions. Take it
Okay.
away.
Number one, do you do your own nails? Because they look
Yes.
fabulous. They look like,
Thank.
you know. So you do them yourself? Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. This set I did myself. I wanted the last set that I had was like a unicorn color, but I said I've become obsessed with all things Barbie. So I went with the bubblegum pink. That is the color that I went for this set right here. So these are some of the ones that you would see me wear that are a little bit longer than these that have the studs and details. I've ordered those. Someone else made those for me, but these I did myself. So yes, I do my own nails.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get on a bigger subject. What are your thoughts about what's going on in the Middle East right now?
Ooh, that's deep. I tried. Rob asked so she can look up to any other. What you mean, G-Man?
You,
Do I look? I'm guessing he's asking me, do I look up to anybody else that's like in the media, like a talk show host? Yes, and I'll get to that. But what's going on in the Middle East? I haven't really been paying attention to it. For my mental health, I've learned to just unplug sometimes.
mm,
And I put my phone down. It's it's sad what's going on in the
mm,
country, just in general, the Palestine, all of that. And I try to opt out, but my heart goes to those families. The worst, again, the worst kind of pain to feel is losing a parent, losing a loved one, losing a sibling. And
mm,
that's the worst kind of pain. I
mm.
lost a sister back in August of 2018, and that was the most difficult day ever. I can remember the day that we had my sister's funeral, the look on my mom's face. And that's the look that any parent doesn't want to have on their face.
Right,
Like, it's heartbreaking. So that's my thoughts.
right.
But my heart really goes to the
Okay. Okay. What is your favorite color?
pink. I'm such a girly girl. Like all things Barbie, all things Bratz. Been that way since I was 8 years old. I love different colors.
Uh, okay. See, G Man says the Middle East is a man made biblical false that's about money. And I want to address that real quick. Can I address that? Take a moment.
Go ahead.
And you're right, because the Suez Canal, it's all about the Suez Canal and the proposed canal that they want to build that goes through um, Palestine. That's what that's all about. And I've said enough about that. Okay, moving on. Moving on. What is your favorite accoutrement? So, meaning earrings, rings, necklaces. What's
Oh,
your,
jewelry.
yeah.
Yes. I love stack rings, as you guys can see. Um, I can't do my nails without putting on stack rings. I think it's a Patti LaBelle thing because I've noticed that Patti LaBelle would wear her nails long when she first came out, or either Coco from SWV. So I would start wearing my nails, but and then they would have accessories to go along with it. So I can't do my set and then come on without having rings on my finger. That is a must for me. I love chokers as well too, like blinged out
Mm,
chokers. And I also love body jewelry, like the chain that can be attached to the dresses, all sorts of stuff. So I'm always changing it up, but I believe that less is more. If I'm wearing something like what I'm wearing today, like an evening, almost like an evening gown, I try to keep it simple. But shout out to Victoria Beckham for that. I learned that fashion tip from her, which is less is more. You don't need a whole lot of jewelry. Like I have my earrings and then I have my rings. But if I'm wearing something that's almost like a turtleneck, I don't really put necklaces with it. But I love rings though. Love lots of rings.
I noticed them on your interview yesterday, and then I saw you only had one today. I
Oh
was
my
like,
God, yes.
okay, favorite actor and favorite movie.
Ooh, my favorite movie. I'm gonna go all the way back to like the 70s. I would have to say Mahogany with Diana Ross because I'm
Okay,
such a fashion girl and I'm a big Diana Ross fan. So Tracy Chambers, you couldn't tell her nothing. She was so much into fashion. So if they could bring that back, I would definitely be on board to be one of the designers or something. Like that would be my dream.
okay, okay. Kicking with the '70s there. I like that. I like that. The old school. Um, G said, "Mad as hell" and G man. Shout outs to the original G man in hip hop. You know that he won an award for his role in the Mad as Hell as best supporting actor. He
Yeah.
certainly did. Very first role. So shout out to you. I see MJ in the house. I see Todd in the house. I'm just doing some shout outs because my friend's taking the time to come on. So let me.
Yes, they are showing you so much love in these comments.
They are. They are. Angie Benson. I don't know who Headshot 96 is. Todd Atkins. Todd
G-Man said,
Anthony.
thanks, bro.
Um, okay, continuing on. What's your favorite song?
My favorite song. Ooh, there's so many. Ugh.
You can only pick one. Okay, you can pick two. Pick two.
Okay, Sade Kiss of Life is one. I love Sade. Sade is like oh my God. She helps me relax and zone out whenever I just want to zone out of
Mm,
everything. So Kiss of Life is one of my favorites. The second one is My Life by Mary J. Blige. I love Mary J. Blige. I think she is an amazing singer, and it's like whatever she sings, it definitely hits close to home from personal experience. You can feel it. So those are two of my top two favorites.
to your top two favorites. And your show. What do you see your show in 5 years?
I, I see myself, and I said it on yesterday's interview, with my own network.
Mm,
And I would have my own show up there. I would have other Black filmmakers, directors, producers come onto my network as well too. Everybody Black, because the only Black woman who's done it, like I said yesterday, was Oprah.
mm,
Oprah's the only woman that has hosted a talk show and had her own network. That's never happened. Like, of course, we've heard of Black entertainment television. BET has been around for years, but for a talk show host that is a woman of color to have her own network, I'm going for the second one. I'm going to be the second one to do it.
there
So
you go.
that's my goal.
All right.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Um, let's see. And that's big too, because um, we as a people, I think, from my perspective, lack control of our goods, if you would, in our entrepreneurship. So I think that's real important, and it sets an example for those behind us to follow. You know. So outside of your show, how about a magazine? What are your thoughts on that?
I already write for, I don't know if you guys know, but I write for Original Magazine UK, which is a magazine based all the way in London, the UK. Shout outs to Mickey Solar. She chose me as one of the fashion writers for the magazine, and I've had at least 4 articles published. The next one should be coming out pretty soon. It is on winter fashion, and I'm excited about that. Um, but I would love to have my own magazine as well too. And I kind of give you guys that here with my IG. You see a lot of fashion, you see a lot of beauty, you see a lot of everything on here. You see food, you see everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to do that. I would love to have my own magazine. Drew Barrymore has her own magazine. Oprah has her magazine. And I think Ellen has one too. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think Ellen has one, but I think it's Drew Barrymore and Oprah who have their magazines. Rachel Ray has one. So I would like that.
Right. And it's important that we hey, you just took the words out of my mouth, G man. It's important that we own our own stuff. I was just going to say that. That's important. That is important. If you build a chair, it should be your chair unless you decide to sell it for a large negotiable price, or lease it. But it's important that we own our own stuff. Um, Here's a question. Do you like my beard? I'm thinking about growing it all here and here, but it just doesn't come in. So, as a person of fashion, one, how do you think it would look on me? Two, what can I do to make it come in full?
Mm, I've noticed with men's beard care, because my brother has a beard, my brothers have beards, they are starting to use a lot of beard oils. They're starting to use a lot of beard washes, a lot of things to keep their beard intact. And they go to the barbers, they get the lineup and everything. But I like your beard now. But to have it fully grow up, like, are you talking about okay, like Coleman Domingo or Idris Elba
Like
with the full, yeah,
elbow, yeah, there it is. Yeah, like that. It just doesn't. It won't grow on my right side. I can get it here, but it won't grow on my right side. I don't understand it.
I think that would look good on you because you already got the salt and pepper. So I like it. I think it would look good on
I need help. I need help.
you.
Okay, so here's my final question for you. What would it take to get you in one of our films?
I said this yesterday on the show. My very first acting role was in a horror film, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a film that I did back in 2021. What's so crazy is I got the role on my birthday. I think it was my 20th birthday. And he asked me if I wanted to be in a film. I said, I've never acted before a day in my life. And so he gave me the time for the table read, and I went in for the table read, you know, as is, no acting experience whatsoever, and nailed it, executed. The whole table was just like the gaps. They was quiet, like they couldn't believe it. But I went in the day of that we shot the film, and what was so funny is I wish you guys could see it behind the scenes. Everybody was going over each other's lines. So this person was saying this person's lines, and this person was saying this person's lines. But I remember mine, and it was excellently so. Oh, it took what, 2 takes, and we got it done, and it was an amazing project. This is around the time the pandemic hit,
Right.
so being able to manage and work and do that project was amazing, and it came out stellar. So it was my very first acting experience. But it wouldn't take anything to get me in one of your projects. Are you asking?
So is that movie out where I can see it? I would love
Yes,
to see it.
it's called The Assistant to Reconnected on YouTube, and you guys can go and check it out as a horror film.
Okay.
And it's almost, I played a college professor, so you guys won't see me with long hair. You'll see me with short hair, and you'll
Okay.
instantly know the voice. You'll know the face because I mean, it's out there. So
I will check that out. I will definitely check that out. See see how deep you go. How deep you go. What did you tap into? I look at films and I just evaluate actors, and not that I'm criticizing anybody at all. I just want to know for my uh, growth. I can always learn from someone else, whether they act very well or not. It's good to always grow. This acting thing is a continuous process of
yeah,
growth. If there are actors out there, I'm not going to name them, but there are some actors out there who, if you take them out of one movie and you put them in another movie, they're the same person. You take them out of this and put them over here, from a horror to a sci-fi to a drama. They're the same person. They're the same person. There's no range. And I do not want to pigeonhole myself or anybody for
Right.
that matter in that fashion. I mean, you just can't. You got to have some kind of range, and that's important for longevity. I think in this business. You know,
Yes, and
uh,
I said that yesterday to Bernard is that when you're going into a film for a role, you got to be able to play different characters because it's so often that black actors get typecasted and they only want you to play one specific role. And I can give you an example. I mentioned this yesterday. Leslie Jones. She's one of my favorite comedians, favorite actresses.
mm,
She says, I'm tired of being the funny best friend. Give me something more serious. Marlon Wayans. I met Marlon Wayans at the Bronner Brothers Hair Show back in February. That was way last year. I want to say
mm,
2013 or so. I met him at the hair show, and we know him for comedy. But then he gave us Respect with Jennifer Hudson, and he played a character that we did not like. So you got to be able to step out of your comfort zone and do things that you are not comfortable doing, that you do all the time. They only want you to portray that one specific role. And you got to step out of the norm and do something where it's just like, okay, this is different. I didn't like your character, but I understand why your character did what they did. So that's my
it's,
thing. Be able to
and
switch it up.
and it's important as an independent filmmaker. That's super important because
Yeah.
let me tell you, I started making films because when I came to California, I could only be a cop or a drug dealer. Not, do I look like a drug dealer? Really? I can see I can pass for a cop, but those were the only roles that were offered to me. So, listening to the advice of my mentors, I just got a camera and, we formed a company and we started making films. But it's important because you don't want to put out the same kind of movies, the same kind
Yeah.
of characters every time. Now, I look at Tubi TV is replete with um, movies that are of the similar ilk. This the girlfriend cheating on a guy, the guy cheating on a girl, you know, drugs
Absolutely.
and guns. It's all the same. It's all the same. I would like to see us do maybe a real horror film, a sci-fi film, uh, a drama that doesn't include infidelity, um, something of something just different, so that we're not lumped in a bag of what's the word I'm looking for? Lumped in a bag of minutia. There you go. We need a lot of depth to the stories, depth to the characters. Now there's a movie, and I want to talk about this. There's a movie on Tubi TV um, that I saw, and I thought it was going to be the typical gang bang kind of thing called
Yeah.
Till My Casket Drops. Now, the lead character, I guess you would call him a bad guy, but you feel for this character. You really he's the anti-hero. And that movie, because of the subject matter and the way the characters were portrayed, had a lot of depth to it. For it to be a quote unquote, and I wouldn't even call it a gangster movie or whatever you want to call it. It wasn't typical. It's very atypical. It's very different for that type of movie. And I don't remember the people who made it, but I applaud that. And I would like to see us do more movies. I don't want to
Yeah.
say particularly like that, but with the same subject matters. Same subject matters. It's that was great. Our movie Mad as Hell has some depth to it. We've got uh, G-Man dealing with revenge for his brother. We got Cinda and her relationship with her low life husband. Low life, no good husband, and you got me dealing with the death of my wife and daughter. So there's three character arcs that all come together. So if you get an opportunity, everybody that's out there, check out Mad as Hell. You'll love it. Did you see it, Steve?
Yes, outstanding project.
Thank,
Outstanding project.
thank you, thank you. And it gives one thing I like about the movies that I do is number one is I always try to throw back to the 70s. People call it black exploitation. I call it the Black
Yeah.
Renaissance. Save the studios. So I always throw back to that and the things that they did back then, like when Shaft came out. Shaft came out with a great soundtrack. And Black Caesar came out with this great soundtrack. So we have great soundtracks that accompany our films. We did a movie, Snow Black, 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. We have a great soundtrack with that. We got a great soundtrack with Mad as Hell. This movie we got Cocaine Roach that we're doing now. We have a great soundtrack with it. So it gives not only actors and producers and writers and editors, et cetera, and so forth, a chance to shine, but also gives musical artists and their team a chance to shine. So that's important, It's a big collaborative effort.
And that's what's important to make a great project as a collective come together. So,
Yeah, yes. And I don't see that too much from independent artists. Not too much, sparsely, but I think if we all step up our game and do that, everybody can get a big slice of the pie. You know, hey, that's what we do.
flex those opportunities. 100%. All right, fashion dolls. I promised you guys, um, we're gonna do something called Miss Stevie's Beauty Bag. And I know you guys have been curious for the past few couple of days. Oh my God, how does your makeup look so good? How does your hair look so good? What are the tips? So we are gonna go inside Miss Stevie's beauty bag. All right. So I grabbed a few things that my makeup artist as well as myself use that is my favorite go-to beauty products. And I'm gonna showcase, and you guys can go and check them out. Now, I love high-end products like Dior. I love Chanel. I use a little bit of Tom Ford. I use a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury. I use a little bit of everything. But in order to make my makeup last long, I use Maybelline's Master primer and base, and it makes the makeup stay on all day long. And what I love about it, it is so smooth and luminescent. The way that my skin is looking right now is just glowing all over. That is what you're going to get. So you can pick it up at Walmart, you can pick it up anywhere. Another one of my favorite products that I use is Revlon's Illuminates foundation, and my shade would be 509. So sandalwood would be my shade. And what I love about this foundation is that it is a skincare and foundation. It has hyaluronic acid, which is great for skin of color, which is something that we need. Protect that melanin and have the skin looking beautiful absolutely throughout the day. Um, and the lips. I know you guys are curious about the lips. How do you get your lips so full? So my go-to lip color is Be Captivating from L'Oreal, and I absolutely love and adore this lip color. I love how smooth it goes on, and I can easily go in with my liner and overline my lips as much as I want. And the lashes. I know you guys are curious. How does the eyes stay on point? Elf Big Mood Mascara is my go-to. And if you like that fanned out flared effect on your lashes, this is definitely it. So that is what is inside Miss Stevie's beauty bag, fashion dolls. So before we conclude this interview with the amazing Robert Parham, Robert, what advice would you give to people that are looking to start filmmaking and producing? What advice would you give the next generation of filmmakers and producers?
My advice would be to just do it. People want to wait until Everything is perfect. They have the perfect script. They're ready to act. Just pick up a camera, pick up a cell phone, whatever you have to record, and just do it. Because you can only get better if you keep doing it, if you keep going at it. That's my advice.
And what else can people expect from you in the future of 2024? Because I know you have at least five upcoming projects and more, and you have a vampire film also coming out as well too. So
Right.
what else can people expect from you in 2024?
Well, expect a large, diverse portfolio of films from horror to action to drama. We're going to cover all the gamut of as much as we can do next year. Um, we're constantly writing scripts, we're constantly editing, we're constantly shooting. We've got some great people we're working with. Um, let me shout out some names. We're working with G-Man. We're working with Elise Hollywood Evans. That's somebody you need to have on your show, both of them. We're working with Kirby Delani. We're working with Nakia um, Bryant. We're working with Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, as I said. We're working with Hawthorne James. We're working with Don Wilson. We're working with R. Marcos Taylor. We're working with a gamut of talent for independent film. And we just put out some great products and have you enjoy, maybe take you away from your daily grind for an hour or two.
Yes.
You know, there it is.
And that Hell is out, so make sure you guys go and check it out. And there's a sequel that is coming also too, as Robert just announced on the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that and let everyone know where they can follow you and check these projects out.
You can follow me on Facebook at Robert.Parham, here on IG at The Real Robert Parham, on TikTok at KICKBXN5. You can see our work on Tubi TV, on Peacock, on Pluto, on Roku, on what am I missing? On um, on Vudu, on Hulu. So just about everywhere except Netflix right now. You can
We're
see
going
our
to
products.
manifest it. It's coming.
It's coming.
All right, fashion dolls. And you guys know that I leave you with an encouraging word of the day. Today's final thought comes from the Empress of Soul, Gladys Knight. And this is what she said. She says that nobody has a perfect anything. We don't have we don't have perfect lives, and we're not perfect beings, meaning that we strive so hard on perfection and making sure that everything is perfect. I've learned that not all things are going to turn out perfect. And that's for all of us as filmmakers, as directors, as producers, as musicians. We always strive for perfection. But the thing is to keep going, even if you mess up. You know, you can get halfway close to perfection, but it's not going to be all the time perfect because we know the only person who is perfect is God. So the creator, the man himself, you know, stop beating yourself up for not going hard enough when you did your best. So that's my advice and final thought of the day, fashion dolls. And Thursday, we have Andre Bellows from Spike Lee's Chirac. He is going to be joining me. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Friday, we have the Empress of Paranormal, Caldosha Una Carroll will be joining me Friday, December 1st, kicking off the new month of December. And before you know it, season 18 is right around the corner. This is interview 531. We have been on the grind lately. So thank you guys so much for your love and your support. And the icon himself, the king, Mr. Robert Parham, thank you so much for this incredible interview. I had an outstanding
I
time.
had a great time, Stevie. I had a great time. Hope to see you again.
Definitely, we will chat because I would love to have you back on again to talk about Mad as Hell 2.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we're going to set it up. All right, fashion dolls, you guys take care. And this interview will be uploaded to Style by Stevie Daytime. So if you have not, subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified when new videos, new interviews, new conversations, new beauty hauls, all of that is uploaded to my channel. Make sure you guys head on over. I love you all, and you guys take care, everyone.